Welcome back to Eternal Shiva Wisdom, dear seekers of the timeless truth. In our previous chapter, we walked through the grand architecture of Sanatana Dharma as a cosmic ecology. We understood the laws of Rita, Karma, and the three gunas that govern every atom of this universe. We realized that Dharma is not a set of rules imposed from outside, but the very rhythm of life itself. However, knowing the rhythm is one thing, and dancing to it is another. Many of us understand the philosophy intellectually, yet we find ourselves struggling with the chaos of our own minds and the burdens of our daily existence. Today, in this fifth part of our 8-part journey, we step into the laboratory of the soul. We move from the why of Dharma to the how. We are about to explore the practical pillars that bridge the gap between human limitation and divine infinite potential: sadhana, yoga, mantra, and meditation. In this first segment, we will immerse ourselves in the mystery of sadhana and the true sacred essence of yoga, to understand how they fundamentally transform the very fabric of our consciousness. The science of sadhana, the alchemy of self-transformation. In the sacred traditions of Vedanta and the teachings of the great Acharyas, sadhana is not merely a religious ritual, it is a profound technology of self-carving. The word itself comes from the Sanskrit root sad, which means to master, to accomplish, or to bring into perfection. Think of a rough, unshaped stone lying on the path. To a common eye, it is just a rock. But to a sculptor, it is a deity waiting to be revealed. The process of chipping away the unnecessary layers of stone is what we call sadhana. At Eternal Shiva Wisdom, we remind you that your life is that stone, and you are the sculptor. Most of our lives are spent in Swabhava, our conditioned nature, driven by old habits, fears, and ego-driven desires. Sadhana is the disciplined effort to move from this conditioned nature to our Swaroopa, our original divine essence. It is the abhyasa, or constant practice, that Sri Krishna speaks of in the Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna asks how to control the restless mind, Krishna does not give a magical formula. He points toward abhyasa, practice, and vairagya, detachment. Sadhana is the daily commitment to sit with your own truth. It is the fire of tapas that burns away the dross of ignorance. Whether it is waking up at the Brahma Muhurta, maintaining silence, or practicing self-restraint. Every act of sadhana is a signal to the universe that you are ready to evolve. It is not about pleasing a distant god. It is about purifying your antakarana, the inner instrument of mind, intellect, memory, and ego, so that the light of Shiva can shine through you without any distortion. Yoga, the sacred bridge to the infinite. From the foundation of sadhana emerges the most misunderstood yet most powerful science of Sanatana Dharma, yoga. Today, the world looks at yoga as a series of physical postures or a way to achieve a fit body. But in the lineage of the rishis and the wisdom of the Yoga Sutras, yoga is much more than the physical. It is Chitta Vritti Nirodha, the absolute stillness of the fluctuations of the mind. The word yoga is derived from the root yuj, meaning to yoke or to unite. It is the sacred technology of union, the union of the individual breath with the cosmic breath, and the individual soul with the universal soul. In the structure of Sanatana Dharma, yoga is the roadmap to return to our source. It begins not with postures, but with yama and niyama, the ethical disciplines that align our character with the truth. Without these, any spiritual height is like a building without a foundation. When a seeker moves into asana and pranayama, they are performing a deep internal alchemy. They are balancing the Ida and Pingala, the lunar and solar energies within the body, to allow the prana to flow through the sushumna, or the central channel of consciousness. This is why yoga is essential for transformation. It prepares the human nervous system to hold the high-voltage energy of divine realization. It turns the body into a temple and the breath into a bridge. Through yoga, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and become a master of your own energy. You learn that you are not just a physical being having a spiritual experience, but a spiritual being navigating a physical reality. As the body becomes steady and the breath becomes deep through yoga, the stage is set for the even deeper mysteries of sound and silence. The foundation has been laid, the vessel has been purified, and now the seeker is ready to hear the unstruck sound of the universe. As the seeker stabilizes the body and breath through yoga, they unlock the gateway to the subtler realms of existence. The foundation of sadhana has made the mind firm, but to penetrate the deepest layers of the subconscious, we need the power of vibration and the depth of silence. This is where the sciences of mantra and meditation become the guiding lights of our journey. The vibration of truth, the science of mantra. In the profound wisdom of the Upanishads, the universe is not described as a collection of solid objects, but as a manifestation of Nada Brahma, the supreme consciousness expressed as sound. Every atom in this creation is in a state of vibration. Sanatana Dharma understood this thousands of years ago, giving birth to the science of mantra. A mantra is not a mere religious chant or a repetitive word. It is a precise sound frequency designed to transform the human mind. The word mantra is a combination of two roots, manas, mind, and tra, to liberate or protect. Thus, a mantra is a tool that liberates the mind from its own chaotic patterns. At Eternal Shiva Wisdom, we often remind our seekers that the mind is like a disturbed pool of water, constantly rippled by the winds of desire and fear. A mantra acts as a pure rhythmic vibration that harmonizes these ripples. When we chant a sacred sound like Om Namah Shivaya, we are not just reciting a name, we are tuning our inner frequency to the cosmic frequency of Shiva, the pure underlying consciousness of the universe. Just as a specific musical note can make a string on a nearby instrument vibrate in sympathy, the repetition of a mantra creates a resonance within our koshas, or the layers of our being. This resonance shatters the Samskaras, the deep-seated mental impressions and traumas that we carry across lifetimes. It clears the mental fog and creates a protective shield of prana around the practitioner. In the silence of mantra japa, the seeker discovers that the sound does not just exist in the throat. It begins to pulsate in every cell of the body, turning the entire being into a living prayer. Dhyana, the journey into absolute stillness. While mantra uses sound to focus the mind, meditation or dhyana is the ultimate journey into the heart of silence. If sadhana is the preparation and yoga is the alignment, then meditation is the arrival. Adi Shankaracharya describes the state of a realized soul as being like the vast, stirless ocean. Meditation is the process of becoming that ocean. In our journey with Eternal Shiva Wisdom, we explain that meditation is not something you do. It is a state of being that arises when the ego falls away. Most people believe meditation is about stopping thoughts, but the rishis taught us a different way, the way of the sakshi or the witness. Meditation is the art of sitting silently and watching the stream of thoughts without being swept away by them. It is the realization that you are not the thought, you are the space in which the thought appears. As the practice of dhyana deepens, the seeker moves from dharana, concentration, to a state where the meditator, the object of meditation, and the act of meditating become one. This is where the transformation of consciousness truly happens. The boundaries of the little self dissolve. The anxieties of the past and the shadows of the future vanish, leaving only the eternal now. In this stillness, the light of the Atman, the soul, shines with its full brilliance. This is not just a temporary escape from stress. It is a fundamental rewiring of your existence. You begin to see the divine in every face, the sacred in every stone, and the infinite in every moment. Conclusion: the alchemical transformation. Sadhana, yoga, mantra, and meditation are not four separate paths. They are four strings of the same instrument. Together, they create the music of a dharmic life. Sadhana gives you discipline, yoga gives you balance, mantra gives you focus, and meditation gives you realization. When these four elements come together, they transform a person's consciousness from a state of Jiva, the bound soul, to Shiva, the liberated consciousness. This is the promise of Sanatana Dharma, that no matter how deep the darkness of ignorance may be, the light of practice can always lead you home. But remember, these tools are meant to be lived, not just discussed. When the inner world is transformed, the outer world naturally follows. In our next chapter, we will see how this inner awakening manifests in our daily life. How does a seeker of truth eat, speak, and walk in the world? In part 6 of 8, we will explore Dharma as a lifestyle, the science of the sattvic diet, the power of conduct, and the beauty of coexistence. If the vibration of these sacred tools touched your heart today, we invite you to share your thoughts. In the comments below, write a simple sankalp, a promise to yourself. I choose the path of inner stillness. Your reflections inspire this entire community on our shared journey. We invite you to subscribe to Eternal Shiva Wisdom to continue this exploration of the soul. May your path be filled with light, and may your heart find its eternal peace in the silence of Shiva. Namaskar. Om Shanti. Shanti.